You're watching The Weekly Late Show on BBNBC. Tonight, we are joined by Barack Obama. Your host, Birdy Betts. And music from the exclusive Birdy Betts soundtrack. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Stay tuned for The Weekly Late Show with Birdy Betts.
Let's start today's show with some news that might be a little bit too exciting for some people. Apple, who hosted an event where they announced a new version of their already overpriced and useless technology. During that event, Apple announced their new Apple Watch Series 6. And this time, there might actually be something revolutionary. Apple announced the fact that they will not be including the charger in the box to, quote, help save the environment. Inside information says that by 2050, they won't even give you the watch. Yet again, to help save the environment. You can still buy the watch, it'll just be sold separately. Sizzler filed for bankruptcy, and I'm actually a little bit sad. You know, Sizzler was my go-to place to get a heart attack and fries. The heart attack being with the coupon. Normally you have to pay extra for the heart attack, but kind of comes with the deal. CNN explains how NASA's Apollo mission kicked off the entire Silicon Valley revolution. Wow, that's really strange. I didn't know that revolutions started from the first thing during the revolution. CNN, seriously, you didn't really have to clarify that. I had faith in you, CNN. Well, kinda. CNN has some of the most mundane stories on the internet. But yet again, I am thankful they are real stories. If it was up to me, I'd prefer if Silicon Valley went back to their old days, before the technology, when it was just an apple orchard. Speaking of foreign meddling in our election, a female sent ricin, a highly poisonous substance, to Donald Trump. And I am concerned about this, but shockingly I'm not concerned about the ricin. What if Donald Trump completely stopped the Postal Service, and by the time it actually rebooted, Biden would be president? Biden would have gotten some of the ricin on him and died. Trump would have no choice but to say, generally I'm not a huge fan of what happened, but, it is what it is. Rudy Giuliano went on to Fox News and criticized New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, calling him a danger to society. But yet again, I don't know how much you can trust him, because Rudy Giuliani might have been the guy to start COVID-19. According to the Bat Institute in Wuhan, China, of course. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg passed away last Friday. This is extremely sad, but it might be even more sad that now Trump gets to appoint a justice, and the Senate has to confirm her. The reason I'm concerned is the last time Trump chose a justice, we all know how that ended. Anheuser-Busch brewery stock went up 50%. But there is one thing going for us. Trump and the GOP can't really agree on much of anything. So there is a slight chance that by the time Trump and the Senate actually agree with each other, Biden will become president, where he will hopefully choose a non-addict to become a Supreme Court justice. Trump released a campaign that criticizes Biden because he allegedly uses a teleprompter. If this is true, I'm shocked. Biden, I understand that you might use a teleprompter during a speech. But during Q&A with likely voters? Seriously, Joe? You can just see how scared people are that Biden will say something a little bit off the rails. Joe Biden is in fact better than Trump, but that's just saying he's decent. Joe Biden is like a late show host in many ways. He uses a teleprompter and pretty much everything he says is a joke. But at least when Joe Biden says something, it's probably not going to be racist, sexist, homophobic, you get the list. Biden isn't good. But again, neither is Trump. Because like I've said time and time again, we shouldn't have 70-year-old men running this country. Does it not bother anybody that in like 10 years they're not even gonna be here? Why should they care about the earth? They should be playing golf with Secret Service, not worrying about what the United States is gonna do about the new Postal Service. Breonna Taylor. The name has been a cry for justice for people fighting for justice all around the country. So we decided to turn to Inside Edition of all places to clear up the issue.
People on foot and in vehicles honoring the memory of Breonna Taylor and reacting to the news passionately with their thoughts about what has taken place today. A little earlier, the police and the protesters...
Why are you in such a hurry, breathing so hard? Seriously, nobody really cares what Inside Edition has to say about African American rights. If it took you 10 more minutes to stop breathing like that and then you went on the air, I promise you, nobody will be upset. Inside Edition, I recommend you survey who your audience is. You know that 95% of the people watching your show are just people that fell asleep and didn't realize the channel changed. Trump tweeted thank you. Hold on, that didn't sound right. Take two, everybody. Trump tweeted thank you, North Carolina, for a 52% approval rating, which is Trump's way of saying thank you very much for being one of the last states that actually tolerates me. Democrats, before you panic, it's only 9 electoral votes. I'm sure Teleprompter Joe will be totally fine with losing only 9. People say that Costco are missing out on a big market opportunity called curbside pickup. Yet again, I think that Costco is missing out on a big opportunity called good taste. Seriously, Richard, we don't need 6 pounds of barbecue sauce with our little cup of pulled pork. Donald Trump chose Amy Coney, and I forgot her last name, to the Supreme Court. Here to comment on the issue is the all-man we miss dearly and really want back into the White House, Barack Obama. Barack Obama, it's nice to have you here. It's nice to actually have someone sane on this show. You won't believe with who I dealt with last week.
Well, Birdy, it's nice to be here.
So, what would you say to the American people?
We have a very important election. The most important election, I would say, of our lives.
Wait, but will the election in 4 years also be the most important election of our lives? Why not just call it important?
Well, the American people must know the truth, and the truth comes with knowledge. I happen to know Biden on a personal level. We have a pleasure to work for him.
Wait, hold on. You liked working with Biden?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Biden, he's a great guy, and he may not be perfect, but he's a kind, warm-hearted, and just what this country needs right now.
So in other words, he's not Trump.
If you want to put it that way, yes, he is definitely not Trump.
President Obama, do you honestly think Trump has a chance to win?
Well, if the American people do their job and vote, then we will be looking at a hopeful environment to go forward.
Why do you think that Trump all of a sudden decided to select a female justice?
Well, in general, I find it only fair that a female in the Supreme Court is replaced by a female. But we need a female like Ginsburg who will be willing to support women and not take away from them. RBG was a fighter for women's rights. And Birdy, unfortunately, not all women are.
If you could say one thing to Mitch McConnell, what would you say to him?
Can you help this nation and not hurt it? Mining in Alaska is like shooting America in the foot. And it's especially easy to shoot an American in the foot because of the Second Amendment.
Couldn't agree more, Mr. President. Well, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the program.
Of course, always a pleasure to be on the show.
For the Weekly Late Show on BBNBC, I'm Birdy Betts. That's President Barack Obama. Good night, everybody.
If you want to help America, I recommend subscribing to the Weekly Late Show on BBNBC. Also, Birdy Betts is thinking about doing a Q&A, and he asked me to ask you guys, if you guys have any questions, to put them down in the comment section down below. So if you have any questions for Birdy Betts, now is the time to ask them. Make sure you comment down below, make sure you subscribe.